Pro Boxing Fans here with Spencer Oliver, the Omen. How you doing, sir? You looking good?
You know, I'm always good. I'm always good, man. Looking forward to this big night of boxing on Saturday night, topped by Natasha Jonas against Marie-Eve Dicaire. It's going to be a good fight, man. Wicked fight, and it's a great undercard as well. Some interesting fights on the undercard. Really looking forward to that. Also looking forward to the return of the Hitman and Barrera. Now, and you can get that fight for free, mate, if you come to the Boxer Show, which is unbelievable. Tickets still available, by the way, boxer.com. Worth getting on there and seeing the Hitman make that little return against Barrera. And yeah, and what a great show we got here as well.
Spencer sounded like a promoter just then.
Yeah, I know. You know why I thought I'd throw that in, mate? Because you know what it is? I want it to be as busy as possible. I want it to be packed, man, because I love what Ricky's doing. I love his focus. I love his transformation, you know, and I think it's just going to be a bit of fun, and I think it's going to be great. And I also think the fight that we've got on Saturday night, mate, are really, really good. Dalton Smith versus Casey Benjamin's a real fight I'm looking forward to as well. Dalton's highly touted as the best prospect in the country. Casey Benjamin can fight as well. That's a serious fight, serious fight, you know. And then we got Big Fraser Clark on the bill as well. He's in a good fight, so yeah, it's going to be good, man. Really looking forward to it.
Actually, for people that didn't know, you dabbled into sort of management or some sort of promotion or fights. I know that YouTube fight years ago you had some involvement in, right?
Yeah, so I done the first KSI fight versus Joe Weller. Not a lot of people know that. I promoted that one, and I also done the first KSI fight versus Logan Paul up in Manchester. And on the undercard, Deji, who's fighting Mayweather this weekend or next weekend. When is it? This weekend, yeah. He's fighting Mayweather this weekend. Deji boxed Jake Paul on the show that I done up in Manchester. How mad is that? So I'm guilty for starting YouTube boxing. There you go.
You're guilty, but you could have made a lot more money. What brings you back here?
I was just not smart, man. That's what ex-fighters, you know what I mean? Just didn't use my noddle enough. So yeah, no, it is what it is, mate. I had good fun doing it, man. I've got a good relationship with all those guys. So yeah, good luck to them on what they're doing on their journeys.
You spoke about Natasha Jonas, obviously, right next to you, actually.
Oh, yeah. Right, so I'll retract that. I didn't really... Oh, no, sorry, Tash. Yeah, no, yeah, that's a great fight. Great fight.
Just talk to me about...
Yeah, come on, let's talk.
Just talk.
So, Natasha Jonas is brilliant. Did I tell you how she's great? She's the girl for the women's boxing. She's the poster girl. Oh, sorry. Hey, Tash.
You've got to stay in the frame now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no,
just talk to me about Tasha, though. How much of a story she's obviously holding...
You want me to talk to you about Dicaire? Yeah. I can talk to you about Dicaire if you want, because that's... You know, we know about Tash, don't we? We know about her journey. Listen, if we go back to February, you're having your third shot and possibly your last for a world title. You just go, fuck, how that's changed, like, in the last 8 months. It's just unbelievable, do you know what I mean? And you go, like, you know, you're at the stage where you go, surely Natasha Jonas won't be one of those girls. You go, she never got a world title, and that's unreal. You know, the controversial draw against Seri Harper, and that close fight with Katie Taylor as well. And you think, wow, that girl is going to be one of those fucking, like, you know what I mean, the best girl ever not to win a world title, and then it all turned around. Chris Namas, and then, yeah, that was it. We've just gone from strength to strength. This is a serious opponent, by the way. I've been watching her, Dicaire, because... I know, but I'm going... The only loss on her record, yeah, against Clarissa Shields, and it looks wide on the scorecard. So to explain how this is, right? I won Fight of the Year back in like '97 against Patrick Mullins, and I think I stopped him in the last round. But going into the last round, the scorecards were like 7-2 in my favour, and we won Fight of the Year. What I was saying is every round was really close, but I was winning every round. And that was like Dicaire versus Shields, you know. Like, she was one of them. I'm going. She had her moments in that fight. This is like fair play to Tash, because this is a serious opponent, and she's a southpaw, and she's big. Like, you know what I mean?
I love my Lord challenge.
Yeah, I can see that. Not trying to get into your mind. I don't work for her or anything. No, but I mean, it's a great fight. Great fight.
Just a quick question to both of you guys before you do your next interview. How far do you reckon boxing is in regards to female fighting when it comes to the UFC? We see the UFC have made stars: Amanda Nunes, Ronda Rousey, Holly Holmes. There's a lot more at this present time. How far is boxing away, or how close are we away from that?
I think they've showed us the blueprint of how it can be done when it's done right, and I think we are on the track to be able to get onto that level. I don't think we're there yet. I think there's some things that we need to develop and push further, but I think we are getting closer to that.
I personally think that the September show at the O2 was a monumental moment for women's boxing and showed how women's boxing's evolved and the success of that show and how all them girls delivered just took it to another level. And that shows that by Tash topping the bill here at the AO Arena. You go, if you'd have talked about this 3 years ago, I would have thought you was fucking mad. I would have said, really, do you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, where we've been going through some really bad times, not getting Joshua Fury over the line, you know, because of the politics of the sport, and then this fiasco with Conor Benn and the fight falling through with Eubank Jr. And the girls are the ones that are delivered, and the girls are the ones. So I think for women's boxing, not just women's sport, women's boxing has just evolved so much, and I think the appetite is growing like massively because everyone's going, you know what we're going to get with the girls? They're putting it on the line, man. Like they're delivering.
Well, Tash, I'm going to let you do your interview. I know she's waiting, so I'm so sorry, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Spence, just whilst I've got you quickly, I want to talk about the man on your right, Dalton Smith.
Great fight.
What a fighter, first of all, but what a fight as well.
Highly touted as the best prospect in the country for obvious reasons, done nothing wrong, delivered 10 KOs out of 12 fights, 12 wins. He's in a serious fight here, by the way, because Casey Benjamin cannot be underestimated. Yeah, the guy can fight, man, and he's improving a lot. That's a great fight. You know, Dalton starts a massive favourite, but actually, Benjamin's up for this big time. That's a great fight, man. That really is. Looking forward to that one. That could be fight of the night.
Do you want to talk about the fight after this card? Ricky Hatton, the man that I was a big fan of Ricky Hatton when I was growing up. Great fighter. Obviously Barrera, I think everyone in boxing loves him just for the trilogy he's had. But exhibition fights, man, what do you make of them? Is it good to see?
Yeah, I love it, mate. I love it because it gives a chance for the fans to, you know, relive those moments of seeing two boxing legends get back in the ring. And listen, it's going to be a sparring session. It's going to be an exhibition. You just got to enjoy the moment, mate. Seeing those ring walks again, credit where credit's due. Ricky's made his transformation has been incredible. And it's good for him, you know. It's a lifestyle change. And I think that, you know, he's done that because he needed some sort of focus. And I respect him for that. And let's hope he just stays on that track now. But I think this is a great opportunity, mate. And like I say, people that get tickets for the boxing show can stay on and watch that show for free. It's a win-win, man. It's just going to be a bit of fun. It's going to be great. It's going to be a bit of fun. But Ricky and Barrera back in the ring again. For me, mate, as a boxing fan, I'm loving that.
You know what? There's talks about Floyd Mayweather and Ricky sharing the ring. You know, even when Floyd did the press conference last Friday, he sort of gave props to Ricky Hatton, saying what a great fighter he was. Would you like to see that?
Yeah, why not, man? Why not? I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, look, I want to see Ricky back in the ring against Barrera, and that would be great because they're two boxing icons and everything else. But then we've seen it as well, though, haven't we? Once you've seen it, you've seen it. Do you need to see it again? Maybe not. You know, I just think that what he's doing is great. And listen, if he goes and decides to do that with, you know, Mayweather, and it is what it is. I mean, of course, I'd want to see it. You know, I think it'd be a great spectacle. But it's more about this one, if I'm totally honest.
Just another one. Obviously, you talked about YouTube boxing. Then we've got Deji fighting Mayweather. Jake Paul's been the man that everyone's talking about. Interestingly, about 2 weeks ago, a week ago, Carl Froch did an interview with William Hill. I'm not sure if he got asked, but he said, you know what, I'd smash him to bits. I'd like to have that as a fight. I'd smash him to bits. Is that something that you'd like to see?
Listen, the Cobra, mate, is like, he's never, ever stopped trading since he finished boxing. That guy's in good nick, really good nick. And I know that, you know, that things like that would just like, yeah, he would love that, Cole. So I know when he says that, he's being serious, you know. And the worst thing that Jake Paul could ever do is say, yeah, come on in, let's do that, because he ain't no joke. Carl Froch is no joke, man. We all saw his career, what he was like, mate. He was like a throwback, right? But trust me, Jake Paul, do not take that fight with the Cobra, man, because he's serious.
Final two from myself. I think you guys have spoken about it on TalkSport quite a bit, but True Geordie's interview with Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
What did you make of that? What did you make of Tyson's demeanour? What did you make of the question from True Geordie?
Yeah, it was a bit weird, wasn't it? All of it was a bit weird. True Geordie was trying to get into him about the calibre of opponent and everything else, and he was going quite hard and all that, and it was just weird. It was a weird response from Fury, the way he was doing it, and then trying to turn the phone off, and True Geordie half taking the piss out of that. I just thought it was a really bad interview, man, and an unnecessary one, if I'm honest. You know, that True Geordie's obviously set that interview up to, you know, to get the viewing figures and whatnot. You got the number one heavyweight on the planet right now, and yeah, I think it was a little bit, you know, I don't understand where he was going with that interview and why he was being so aggressive with Fury on it. I thought it was all a bit strange, a bit pointless, and I didn't really understand it. Was it True Geordie trying to make a name for himself? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is I didn't understand it. Did you? I don't know what it was all about, if I'm honest. So it's probably all I can comment on it.
Last weekend we saw Dmitry Bivol defend his titles against Zurdo Ramirez. Man, talk to me about that performance. Seemed like a bit of a masterclass.
Gilberto Ramirez, man, 44-0 going in. Never really boxed anyone of any substance, but you know he had a great reputation and he was massive. I don't know how he makes light heavyweight. Bivol controlled that fight, done pretty much as he wanted, and showed us just how good he is. You know, people were questioning the performance against Canelo, saying, yeah, but Canelo's only a little guy coming up. Bivol stamped his place as number one light heavyweight out there right now. I know Beterbiev's another one, and that's a fight that we want to see because he's like a monster and everything else. But Bivol, mate, he controlled the space, he controlled the pace of that fight. He boxed on the front foot when he wanted to, he went on the back foot when he wanted to, he went defensive when he wanted to. That was a first-class performance, man. Yeah, it was brilliant.
If Canelo, well, because they're talking about that rematch, if Canelo and Bivol were to share the ring again, do you feel like the outcome's going to be the same, or do you feel like Canelo has more to his game?
No, Bivol's too big for Canelo, but I think they're talking about now making it down at super middleweight or something, so that's not good for Bivol, because Bivol struggles at light heavyweight, so getting him down to super middle, then you go, that's going to sap his strength, do you know what I mean? That's not really not really ideal for Bivol, but Bivol's too, Canelo is an incredible fighter, he's a welterweight, super light middleweight, super middleweight. Do you know what I mean? He was just he stepped up out of his comfort zone at light heavyweight, and Bivol proved too big, too good. He dominated that fight. He controlled the fight whenever he wanted to. He beat Canelo at his own game on the inside. He kept it long. He wouldn't let Canelo get close to him. It was good, man. Really good.
I think they're going to start the press conference in about 2 minutes. Quick final question. In the Abu Dhabi event that just happened, the Bivol fight, Eddie Hearn spoke about calling Wilder's team over for potential talks for the AJ fight. What do you make of that? Would you want to see that? I'm sure everyone else would want to, but
I like that fight, mate. I like it a lot. Props to AJ for wanting to take that fight. But yeah, it's a fight that I would love to see, and I think everyone would. It's one of those. Someone's getting sparked. That's the truth of it. I think that. That's a great fight, man. It's a tough one to call. I
think the question I'm trying to ask is, do you feel like it's the right fight for AJ at this point of his career? We know he's come off a loss where we saw the mental breakdown from AJ. Do you feel like he needs maybe a touch-up fight, a tune-up fight before he gets into some of these heavier fighters?
No, I think that AJ only wants the big fights anyway. He's at that stage of his career. I think he wants the big fights, man. So I was disappointed the Fury fight never got over the line, if I'm honest, because I know that Anthony Joshua wanted that fight, and for whatever reason, whether that's down to commercials or whatever it was, the fight broke down, which was really disappointing that we didn't get it. But AJ's at that stage of his career, mate. He's a two-time world heavyweight champion. He wants the big fights. He don't want tune-up fights and all that. That last fight that he had with Alexander Usyk was not a damaging fight, as in he was in that fight up until round 9, and Usyk took over in those last few rounds, and just proved that his movement was a little bit too much for AJ. But it wasn't like a really confidence damaging fight. He didn't get knocked spark out like he did against Andy Ruiz. So he could go back in there, and he's got a mix at that sort of level, because they're the opponents that we need to see him in with now.
Just the final one, sorry. Your mate Simon Jordan and Eddie Hearn have been having a back and forth. Yeah. I spoke to Eddie after the last Matchroom show, and he said, you know what, I'll get him onto my BBC podcast, we can talk there. If not, if he thinks I'm a coward or I'm a clown, let's get into the ring, do 6 rounds for charity. Would you like to see Simon Jordan, Eddie Hearn in the ring? Yeah,
I said to Simon, come on, I'll get you in shape for that one, mate. You're going to need that, because Eddie's got some hands. He knows how to throw some hands. He's done a little bit in the past, but Simon won't entertain that. Simon said, listen, I don't want to go on the BBC podcast. Let him come on Talk Sport. I've been calling for him to come on Talk. So it was a back and forth like that. But look, listen, I think Frank Smith wanted a little piece of him as well. But Simon ain't having none of that. No, he's not going there. Simon's a smart dude, He's like, no, let's not put a smoke screen around what's happened here. Let's get him on Talk Sport. That's what it is. Yeah.
Cool. Spencer, I think they're going to start. Thank you very much for talking to Pro Box fans. Appreciate your time as always.